When you're standing in the electronics aisle, staring at a shelf of gaming laptops that all promise ultra-fast frame rates and future-proof performance, it's easy to feel like you're about to spend a fortune on a machine that might not actually fit your lifestyle. I've been there trying to decide whether to splash out on a high-end rig or keep my current setup and just upgrade the graphics card. That hesitation is exactly why I'm pulling apart the Acer Nitro V16 today, so you can walk away knowing if it's the right thing to spend your hard-earned cash on. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Nitro V16 sits in a sweet spot for people who want a laptop that can double as a serious workhorse and a weekend warrior gaming machine. It's not a bulky desktop replacement, yet it packs a Ryzen AI 7350 CPU with built-in AI acceleration, an RTX 5060 GPU with 8GB of GDDR7 VRAM, and a 16GB DDR5 memory kit. The 1TB PCIe Gen 4 SSD means you won't be bottlenecked by loading times whether you're launching Adobe Premiere or dropping into Elden Ring. If you're the type who alternates between freelance design work and 1080p to 1440p gaming sessions, those specs line up nicely with the demands you'll actually face. But let's talk about the real-world experience beyond the headline numbers. The 16-inch WUXGA IPS panel runs at 180 Hz, which is a noticeable step up from the typical 144 Hz screens you see in most mid-range laptops. In practice, that refresh rate translates to smoother mouse movements and less motion blur in fast-pacing shooters like Valorant or Call of Duty, Modern Warfare II. The color accuracy is decent enough for photo editing, though you'll still want a calibrated monitor for professional-grade work. One practical strength here is the balance between a sharp 1920x1200 resolution and a high refresh rate. You get crisp detail without the GPU having to fight a 4K panel, which keeps battery life in check. Battery life is a frequent pain point for gaming laptops, and the Nitro V16 is no exception. It's built on a 96Wh battery that will give you roughly 4 hours of mixed usage, some browsing, some light gaming, before you need to plug in. That isn't an all-day on a single charge solution, but it's realistic when you consider the power draw of a 350W CPU and RTX 5060. If you plan to game primarily at home, this isn't a deal-breaker. However, if you're looking for a laptop that you can take on a train and still crush AAA titles, you'll need to budget for a charger or a power bank. Thermals have been a hot topic for many of the newer Intel-based gaming laptops, and Acer claims the Nitro V16 doesn't overheat thanks to its vapor chamber cooling system. In my testing, the laptop stayed under 85 degrees during a 30-minute Cyberpunk 2077 session at medium-high settings. That's reassuring because thermal throttling can cripple performance after the first hour of play. The fan noise is audible, but it ramps up only when the GPU hits its max clock. If you're sensitive to fan whine while streaming or recording, you might want to keep the laptop on a desk with good airflow rather than a cramped bed space. Now, who exactly should walk away from this machine? If you're a casual gamer who mostly enjoys indie titles or older games that don't demand cutting-edge graphics, the Nitro V16 is arguably overkill. You could get a more affordable 15-inch model with a similar CPU and a lower-tier GPU for a fraction of the price, and still enjoy your hobby without feeling the need to upgrade constantly. Likewise, if you're a professional who relies heavily on raw compute for tasks like 3D rendering or AI model training, the RTX 5060, while solid, may not provide the CUDA cores you need for the fastest render times. In that case, a laptop with an RTX 3070 Ti or higher would be a better fit, albeit at a higher price point. For the sweet spot buyer, college students in graphic design, freelance video editors, or gamers who want a reliable 1080p to 1440p experience, the Nitro V16 hits several practical marks. The 1TB SSD ensures you won't be cleaning up space after each game install, and the 16GB of DDR5 memory keeps multitasking fluid when you have Photoshop, Chrome tabs, and a game running simultaneously. The addition of Windows 11 and Acer's Copilot AI suite provides quick shortcuts for launching apps, which can shave off a few seconds when you're juggling multiple projects. a couple of trade-offs deserve a mention. The chassis, while sleek, leans toward the heavier side at about 2.7 kilograms. That's fine for a desktop replacement, but if you envision yourself carrying it to a coffee shop daily, you might feel the weight after a while. The keyboard, although well-spaced, doesn't have perky RGB lighting. It's a single-zone backlight, which is fine for most users but might disappoint those who want a fully customizable aesthetic. Finally, the port selection includes a USB-C 3.2, two USB-A 3.2 ports, HDMI 2.1, and a 3.5mm combo jack. You'll need a dongle if you have a